By April 2026, Arsenal arrived in Lisbon facing a season-defining moment. The Champions League quarter-final had become their most direct path to a trophy as their domestic form began to falter. Days earlier, a 2-1 defeat to second-tier Southampton knocked them out of the FA Cup. After back-to-back losses, manager Mikel Arteta faced mounting pressure to stabilize a campaign that was slipping away. This list tracks every away European knockout match Arsenal has played in Portugal. Across 6 previous attempts against Porto, Benfica, and Sporting, they had never recorded a single victory. The Estádio José Alvalade offered little hope for an easy turnaround. Sporting CP were undefeated in all 5 of their home Champions League fixtures leading up to this match. Sporting manager anticipated a desperate response from the visitors, telling the media that Arsenal would attack like an injured beast. Entering this hostile environment required more than tactical adjustments. It was a test of whether the squad could handle the weight of both their recent form and their historical struggles in the country. Sporting began the match with an aggressive high press, attempting to force an early error while Arsenal were still settling into the game. The pressure nearly resulted in an opening goal in the 6th minute, when Sporting's Araujo fired a shot that rattled the crossbar. Arsenal answered quickly. In the 15th minute, Noni Madueke whipped a corner directly toward the goal that also struck the woodwork and stayed out. After those 2 early exchanges, the tempo shifted. Both teams pulled back into a more conservative structure, prioritizing defensive shape over risky forward passes. The initial flurry had passed without a breakthrough, leaving both sides to settle into a patient, physical contest of endurance. The second half became a statistical deadlock. With the tie played over 2 legs, neither manager was willing to commit extra numbers forward and risk a counterattack. This tactical heat map shows the congestion. While Arsenal held 56% of the ball, the expected goals metric stood at a nearly identical 0.84 to 0.79. Almost all the meaningful action was contained in the middle third of the pitch. At the 64-minute mark, it appeared the deadlock was finally broken. Martin Zubamendi found the net from the edge of the box, only for a VAR intervention to silence the traveling fans. The replay shows why. Sporting's backline held a disciplined high line, catching Viktor Gyökeres inches offside in the build-up to the strike. For Gyökeres, facing his former club for the first time, the moment was particularly frustrating, as his positioning nullified his team's most promising sequence of the half. With the goal disallowed, Arsenal's momentum vanished. Sporting's defensive discipline had survived its most significant challenge of the night. As the match entered the 91st minute, a scoreless draw seemed the inevitable result, a scoreline Sporting would have valued heading into the second leg in London. But 2 minutes into added time, Gabriel Martinelli identified a slight gap as the Sporting defense finally began to stretch under the relentless pressure. This animation traces the final sequence. Martinelli slides a pass into the box just as Kai Havertz times his run to stay onside, finding the space that had been closed off all night. Alone against the goalkeeper, Havertz remained calm, picking his spot and sliding the ball into the bottom corner. The final whistle followed shortly after, confirming a 1-0 victory. For the first time in their history, Arsenal had won a European knockout match on Portuguese soil. By finding a breakthrough in the final seconds of a high-friction match, Arsenal ended their long-standing struggle in Portugal and secured a vital 1-goal advantage for the return leg.